Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, I have done other videos of taking apart the gateways from T-Mobile home internet, and this one is the Nokia, this one's the Arcadian, but now we're going to do a video on this new one, which is this Sagemcom 5688W. It just started shipping out in very limited quantities in August of 2022, so no one has done a video or instructions on how to take it apart yet. And then how do you go in there to hook up a external antenna. This one here is a waveform 2x2 MIMO one. I also have a waveform 4x4 MIMO one, which looks like this but just wider. And obviously we hook that up and test it to see how the speeds go. So first step is we got to figure out how to take this thing apart. I have not taken it apart yet, so let me go into it and see what happens. Alright, so the most obvious thing here is on the base of it there are 3 visible screws in these larger holes here, and then typically I see that they put screws underneath these rubber feet here, so I'm just going to I can try to take it off my fingers. It's kind of hard to do it, so what I found is I just pick it up a little bit with my fingers, then I use a screwdriver to help pry these rubber guys, the feet, out. And then once they come out, they're just a little rubber feet there. And then lo and behold, if you look down in there, there is a screw under at least this one. So we'll see if there's more out there. Yep. Now this one is a little bit more difficult than the other ones that tended to have just a Phillips screwdriver head. This one is a Torx bit, and it looks like it's a T10 Torx bit. So you'll need to have that because it looks like all these screws here are Torx. So this little kit I have here is a little Husky kit that has done me well for this kind of small projects. Alright, so we got those out. So let's take out these screws here. Alright, so I'm almost positive it's not going to release just yet until I get this other screw, which is going to be underneath this warranty label here. So now, a lot of people will tell you that you can heat it up, or maybe use some kind of chemical or something to get in there, try to break up that adhesive. You can certainly do that. My method is going to be this: poke right through it and rip it apart. And that's up to you to decide what you want to do with that. The warranty does not apply to you. For one, you don't own this device, so T-Mobile has their policy here on these guys, and you're really not supposed to modify them, so you're doing this at your own risk. And some people claim the right to repair law, but that's really for devices that you own. You don't own this device. This is really T-Mobile's device that they let you borrow for free. You don't pay anything for it. So that is the one caveat I will say about this, and I take no responsibility for anything that happens because of you following this information here. So let's see if we can get this guy to come apart now. Okay, so it looks like you can just kind of pick up on the feet, get you a little bit of space, and then you can slide your screwdriver over towards the middle, and then if you pry outwards on the case, it will disengage that little clip here. So again, I just come in here to the side, I pull out. Okay, so it looks like the power button is a little detent that you have to try to work out getting it over. So this power button there, you want to make sure you press it in, and then you'll have to have it clear. But let me get this other clip off, and then I should be free to do that. Okay, so I'm just prying I'm just prying that off, and it looks like this has some clips in here that I can fairly easily pry this up and over, and this will help clear for this power button that sticks out. So yeah, this looks like this pops up pretty easy here. So you just kind of pry the sides away, and then this guy will pop up and over. So this is very easy. It has 3 clips that go into here, and that's up and over. Okay, so I'm not sure why mine was so hard here, but for some reason this side was very hard for me to get it to clip off. It looks like maybe the technique would have been right here in the middle of the leg is to pry up on the outer shell or try to press down on this clip to get it to come out. So it looks like I did not need to take the top off in order to get that, because those screws I took out here do not need to come off. Alright, so I had taken off the top, which was quite easy to just pry off, and looked in there at the top to see if there's any screws. I did take out 3 screws from inside here, but it turns out I do not need to do that. That is not attached to this outer case at all. But once I have this in here, you can see that right on the, I guess it'll be the left side of the device, or I guess depending on which way you look at it. But basically, right here is the cables that we care about, and you can see they're actually labeled. It looks like a 5G NRP, an LTE-D, a M1, or sorry, that looks like MIMO, a MIMO 1, and then an LTE-M. So those are your antenna ports that you care about, and these are U.FL connectors. So this is the same connector that the Nokia and the Arcadia one have, which is great because that means if you already have an antenna that works with those, it will work with these. So now the next question obviously is, which ones do you hook up? If you have a 4x4, it's pretty easy. You hook them all up there, and then for the 2x2, it's probably going to depend on what signals you have. Okay, so if I had to guess, the LTE-D and the LTE-M, those would be the 2 that I would pair up for a 2x2 if I was going for stronger 4G signal. And then the 5G NR and the MIMO 1, those would be the ones I would first start with a 2x2 antenna to go for a 5G signal if I wanted to improve, try to get N41, or if I wanted to really boost up my N71 there. So that would be my guess. And what we'll do here is I'll show you these pigtails. And so these ones are the ones from Waveform. There are obviously other ones out there. These ones seem to work well. Looks like on this device they will also be plenty long enough. I don't think anyone's come out with a 3D printed case yet, but it looks like these will fit straight through any of these ports in the bottom. And let's see, they probably will fit. No, they don't quite. Yep, okay. So they actually will even fit out the top if you had to, at least on the outer bands there. And that would give you tons of space because this is closer to the top. But I would say most people probably come out the bottom. But this has plenty of room to go in here to fish up to here, and then you could hook them up and you'd still have solid 4 to 5 inches on the outside of the unit there. So these are what you plug in, and then this gives you an SMA connector here, and that would go to your antenna leads that obviously go outside or up an attic or something for your external antenna. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start my testing and see which different combinations give me the biggest improvement using both a 2x2 MIMO and a 4x4 MIMO. Alright, I'm really glad that these are easy to get to or easy to access once you get in here. It's a little bit more difficult than taking the Nokia apart, which is really good about sliding off. This one with these stupid clips can be a pain sometimes depending on your luck of the draw there with those clips. But it doesn't look destructive. You know, none of the tabs break or bend off, so you can return it back to stock. Sans the warranty sticker that I obviously destroyed. You could be more careful with it if you preferred, but that's something I'm willing to risk. So hope you liked the video. If you have comments or questions, put them down below. And then obviously if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you find value out of this kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the antenna test so we find out which ports to use and how big of a change it gives me here at my house.